If you or somebody you know is suffering from any type of mental disability or any type of mental illness, or maybe you are getting bullied, or maybe the world is just seeming heavy to you, and you're feeling like you need to harm yourself, please don't. The world would not be better without you. People do care. We do find ways to tell you I love you, and it may not always be the best way. Rather than do anything to yourself, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Talk to someone. There's a listening ear everywhere. And if for some reason you feel afraid to even reach out to the line, feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms where I'm available to you whenever you need me. You do not have to be in this war by yourself. You are not alone in this. You are not the first person to feel or think the way that you have thought. This does not make you a crazy person or anything like that. It makes you brave and courageous when you reach your hand out and accept help. Now, let's talk some football. What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Field Review podcast. And if you pay attention to my pictures, you know what it is. We are always in a good mood here. And if my photos is any indication of what I'm finna do, then you know that I got me some help today. That's right. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I have done videos with him before, and it was absolutely amazing. And this is probably the first time he's ever been here on the Field Review, just talking some football. But I got to be honest, people. Is one of his videos got to me. I don't know if it's a got to me good way or bad way, but we're going to have to definitely discuss it because that's without doubt the reality. And I'm talking about my man Mitch from the Bottom Line View. What up, though, Mitch?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. Always love talking Lions football, and I appreciate all the Lions fans that you've brought to my channel that support me. So let's talk some football.
100%. Now, let me do a quick roll call because I know I'm probably going to start rolling in faster than usual. So if you were paying attention, people, you were seeing that I didn't start at my usual 5. I started at 7 because I wanted to accommodate the guest. The guest gets the perks of getting the time that works best for them. So without further ado, shout outs to my man Looney Tune, Frank, One Funky Lion Fan, Jimbo G, One Pride 40, CJ. We got Brandon McMillan in the building. We got Conservative Will. Make sure I ain't missed somebody. Let me go on down. We have Big West Kevin, and he changed his name a little bit. I see what you did there. I see how you did it. We obviously got my man the Bottom Line View in the chat, letting everybody know what's going on. And then we got Hatter House 710. And then we have, let me try and miss nobody. Did I miss anybody? I did. Kobe. We got Kobe in the building. Shout out to you, Kobe. I know Kobe is like a super fan. Kobe will talk to you from birth to death about the damn football. That guy loves him for sports. We got Lions Lee in the building. We got Don Burr in the building. And we have B Shaw 09118, Sheldon McCray, Omar Pachillo. I hope I said that right. Steve-O and Jason Smith. And as y'all roll in, welcome. Right up the gate, people, you know, this is what we do. We got to get right into it. And first things first up on the question is this. We got to talk about some Detroit Lions football and just talking about the offseason thus far. So, Mitch, right now when it comes to the Detroit Lions, what do you like the most about the Detroit Lions offseason thus far?
All right, well, starting with, I believe, the goal of their offseason, which I think is a little bit to revamp this roster, the identity of the team and the organization. And unfortunately, this started with trading Matthew Stafford away to the LA Rams. So this is not my favorite part of the offseason, but it gets to my favorite part, which I believe is the whole retooling of the team. So they've added some picks into the future, first-round picks in 2022, 2023. And I think my favorite part was the initial draft, especially the first pick with Sewell in the first round, who I believe is going to be a premier all-pro tackle in this league. And I thought they did a good job in the draft. Free agency was so-so. They had some nice moves here and there, but nothing too crazy. I felt overall, though, for a team that just got rid of their franchise quarterback, they've done a good job in the first stage to put this team in a good position for the future.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of the things that I've been enjoying so far has been this shift of culture change. Believe it or not, I spent the past 3 seasons explaining to this Lions fan base that it don't take 3 seasons to change a culture. It just don't. I've seen it happen too many times where a culture has been changed in a matter of months, and it starts at leadership. And to me, to have a group of people come in that can not only establish the difference in the culture, but also make it to where there's some pride back in the pride. That was something that was lacking, especially over the last 3 seasons, where we had to, sit under the the rocket scientist. I mean, how the hell are you considered a rocket scientist and you can't even produce a defense? It's just ridiculous. Yeah. But it's one of the things that made me talk about it. And since we are on that subject, I definitely want to talk about, what are your thoughts about the new Lions coaching staff? I mean, how are you feeling about them? Obviously, they hired Dan Campbell as the head coach. They brought in Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn as the defensive coordinator. They have been stealing coaches from other teams like nobody's business, something that's not usual with the Lions. What are your thoughts about this coaching staff?
It's an interesting shift. Obviously, they've kind of gone complete opposite to what they had before, which is usually the reaction to when you don't have a good experience. You usually go in the exact opposite direction. That's exactly what Detroit has done. Dan Campbell was kind of an off-the-wall choice. I didn't really see that coming. And I'm not sure I'm super high on Dan Campbell. Honestly, I haven't really seen a ton of him since he was coaching Miami, as an intern coach. But he seems to have a good attitude. I think for the present, he might be good to kind of stabilize the direction of the Lions, but I'm not sure he's an actual long-term solution. OC Anthony Lynn struggled as a head coach because I felt he wasn't very good with just overall managing of a football game. And a lot of the details of the game kind of got away from him, but he did have success with Buffalo as an OC. And I did like his run game specifically. Might be a little too heavy on the run game, but we could see some good things there. And then defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, I think, is their best choice, their best hiring this offseason. He was really, really good at kind of flipping the Saints secondary from one that was one of the worst in the league to one that I felt played very consistent football every week, especially last year. When they took on teams like Tampa Bay, they played very, very well in the secondary, even when they were outmanned. So I thought Aaron Glenn was probably their best of the group, but it's an okay staff. I think it's got obviously some names and some experience, which is good, and we'll see how it goes down.
Well, listen, I can tell you this much, man. It's funny you said what you said about how you don't know if he's a long-term answer, because I made this statement, I want to say 2 days ago, where I said, if you go through the history, including the Buccaneers, and I said, yeah, there's always that coach who came in and did just enough in terms of changing it around before those teams really got on track to get going again. And I went through teams like the Seattle Seahawks. I went through teams like the Bucks. I talked about the Saints. I just named all these different teams where I know that these were these coaches who would come in beforehand and change it around. I had him as one of those coaches myself. What I love about this staff in particular is they can literally take each other's job. There is no way that you can be safe. And I love that Dan Campbell has basically said, you know what, F it. If I'm going to win, I'm going to win with the best of the best coaches that I can get. And if they take my job, then so be it. I still win because that's my coaching tree. And I think that's brilliant. I love that part of it. Now, to me, there are some things that come with it, obviously. With Anthony Lynn, I thought he was very good at times as a head coach. And I thought he was wonderful as an offensive coordinator. Again, but him having that experience as a head coach will add to the experience for the Lions. And then you look at the people they've managed to latch on, like Aubrey Pleasant, that we need to talk more about, who comes from the Baltimore Ravens when they had a secondary. And then you start to look over and you look at Don Capers, who is like the assistant to Aaron Glenn. And I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, dang, he put together a lot of good defenses over this time. And so each one of these little pieces gives me more and more confidence when it comes to this team, like in ways that I never even thought possible. Not 1 second, Rams House. He says, my son is sick, but great otherwise. Well, I hope your son feels so much better because the weather changing and all the stuff going on, I know it. So we going to be putting some prayers up to make sure that not only are you guys happy and comfortable, but that, your son feels better. Just want to do that really quick. So just want to put that out there. Now, the biggest thing on this coaching staff that I find myself falling in love with, this the biggest thing, is the level of competitiveness amongst them.
Luke, I think that's the biggest reason to be excited about this staff. I don't think you would look at this staff on paper, especially Dan Campbell, and be like, oh, we're just going to out-scheme everybody. But when you look at the attitude and you look at I want to say the team toughness that they may bring, I think that is the biggest reason to be excited if you're a Lions fan, because that is really what you want to improve. And I think overall the charisma of Campbell in comparison to Patricia is night and day.
100%. And it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's infectious. I mean, one of my favorite movies is Remember the Titans. I can quote the damn thing from the beginning to the end. And when he says attitude reflects leadership, with all due respect, sir. And I remember thinking, oh, that's some deep stuff right there. And when you look at the coaching staff, they seem to reflect the attitude of this team. And so I just love that part of it. Now we got to get to the not so pretty part, because this is exactly what got my blood and juices boiling. You made a video, a very wonderful video. Yeah, it was a very, very delightful video. I was really into it. I was really into it. Like, oh God, he's going here with him. Oh, that's interesting. And then you got to the Lions. Yeah. So let's let the people hear what you said in your words. Okay. And we're gonna talk about it, people. Let's see.
Back in familiar territory. No, not the playoffs. Rebuild mode. Completely new coaching staff, quarterback, and identity. I like the back to the basics approach in Detroit by rebuilding the lines, but you do need playmakers in the modern NFL to win games. Detroit will be the worst team in the NFC in 2021 and have one of the top picks in the draft. Where do I even start with the Packers? Their MVP quarterback doesn't want...
Now, what you guys didn't see was a little graphic that had the Detroit Lions record at a very particular number.
Ooh.
All right, Mitch.
Yeah.
That goes into our next question, Mitch. Okay. Lions fans, don't pounce on the prey yet. Okay. Give them a chance to explain. Okay. Mitch.
Yeah.
What is your prediction or your way too early record prediction for the Detroit Lions in 2021?
So my way too early prediction was 2-15. Sorry, guys.
No.
Sorry, guys.
No. Listen, people. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Mitch, help me. Help me. Okay. Because I need to understand this. 2-15. You talked about the coaching staff and the things you like about the attitude. How does a team who moves on from a worse coach to a coach who assembled a staff that was way better than the previous season, how do they get worse? Please.
I think the roster is worse. And I think more specifically, I think you lost your best player on your team. And I think you went to a quarterback in Jared Goff, who I'm not the biggest fan of. I think Jared Goff has been overrated for many years, and I don't think he's the answer in Detroit, but I don't think he needs to be the answer. I just think for this season, he's not going to be able to get it done. And then, as I said in the video, I do believe you need playmakers in the NFL to be successful, because as a Patriots fan, I mean, I just saw Tom Brady leave from maybe the worst receiving core in the league, look kind of average, and then go to the Bucs and have a good receiving core and win the Super Bowl. So modern NFL, I mean, you guys, I think, have an underrated offensive line. I like what you've done on the defensive line. But when your two primary weaknesses are receiver and arguably secondary, I think that's tough along with the quarterback. So it takes time for a coaching staff, I think, especially with this whole, shortened offseason and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to take a couple of years for the Lions to get back where they want to be, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So 2-15, okay, that's a specific record. The range of wins and losses is probably, for me, I don't expect them to be anywhere near the playoff conversation. And I do think they're going to be the worst team in the NFC North. But that's saying the Packers are really good. The Vikings, I think, are going to be very good this year because I think they've added a ton. And the Bears were a playoff team last year. So I think the Lions, it's a rough season this year, but I'm going to say 2 to 4 wins would probably be the range for the Lions. I'm not going to sit here and joke around for you.
Okay. I had to pour me a drink. I lit a cigarette so I can have a moment to calm my nerves. Listen, I heard that 2-15 and I thought to myself, how? First things first, as a Patriots fan, that's even more reason why you should be more believing in the Detroit Lions. And I'll explain to you why. Who was your top receivers when you guys won the first Super Bowl with Tom Brady there in 2000?
That was a long time ago, though. That was 2001. That was Troy Brown was their top receiver.
Oh, Troy Brown, because he's a superstar.
He was pretty good, but I mean, Luke, you can't tell me that this receiving core is not one of the worst in the game. But you can't tell me that.
I can. I'll tell you why. If you follow history, that in most cases, it's not the team with the best receiving core who wins. It's the team who plays the best defense and play the best run that usually wins.
Okay, Luke. But are they going to be a top 10 defense? Are they going to be a top?
They don't even got to be top 10. They was 32 last year. There's no way we're going to be 32 this year. No way. That scheme was so stupid that it literally slowed everybody down, including the fans and the commentators. Everybody got dumb because of Patricia. Literally.
Here's where I have a problem with the Lions. Where are you guys actually elite?
Well, let's talk about where we are elite at. Let's get down to it. The first part of it where we are elite at is the offensive line. That's going to be the obvious answer, right? But to me, it's really the running back room. That's where we got the elite at. DeAndre Swift is a legitimate bona fide running back, and you give him a complimentary running back in Jamal Williams. You then added another guy, and I still believe that they're going to sign Todd Gurley as their third back, giving them an even stronger running back room. You have tight ends who have proven that they can not only catch the ball in traffic, but one of them has proven that he is really good at getting open. And a lot of the plays that you're going to have are going to go through him. Now, let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball because there's a little bit of struggle on that side. However, we did this little strange thing called let's try to work on a part of the defense that need to be fixed, and that's the trenches. And they went out and added some people on the D-line that reserves some people. We got a Michael Brockers for a 7th-round pick. And I'm not acting as if, though, that Michael Brockers is the Ndamukong Suh. I'm not saying that. However, Michael Brockers out there on the outside with Romeo Core coming off the edge of him can help create something. This defense roster did not get worse. It actually got improved by virtue of one, culture and talent, because you got guys now on the defensive line who could win a one-on-one. Whereas last year you had Big Danny Shelton, a guy that I like. He took up space, but he wasn't winning no one-on-ones on the way to the quarterback. That was a problem. Another issue was under Patricia, we didn't blitz a lot. Well, ironically, the Saints blitzed a whole lot, and I suspect that a lot of that is going to carry over with Aaron Glenn. But that's not even the reason why I look at it. It's Don freaking Capers. Every team he has been to, he has created a defense. Let's talk about that defense right now in Green Bay that you like so much. Because Green Bay.
I like Green Bay, the team. I don't really love the defense. I think they're average, but
that defense that first year when they brought in Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith and all that stuff, it took off. It took off because they had people in place to do things like that. And then you had people like Don Capers who helped set it up. So let's kind of bring it back. Here's the team in the Packers who I think they're not going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is just a douche, and he's just going to do what he always does.
I agree with that. But
He's going to do what he does. But let's just say hypothetically, Aaron Rodgers doesn't play. And so you're talking about a Packers team who's coming into it with a quarterback who they're going to,
This is a problem though. Okay, so yes, okay. Is Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady? Like, if you're gonna have bad receivers, you need a great quarterback to actually overcome that. I think Jared Goff stinks, bro. That's just my opinion. I think he stinks. The run game could be fine. I think maybe even better than fine, maybe better than last year for sure because of the offensive line. I see those things that you see. But I don't really think, unless it's an overpowering, absolutely incredible run game, you're not going to be able to win games consistently without your production from the pass game. And the defense, yes, you improved the defensive line, but most of it was the run defense, which, again, I don't think these things are translating to wins in 2021. I think most of that's translating when you look at the top teams in the NFL. You look at the Packers, you look at the Bucks, you look at the Bills, you look at the Chiefs, all these teams that went to the championship games. They're passing the ball and they're defending the pass, and that's how they're winning games. And these teams, you just can't be very bad. Like the Lions were very bad versus the run last year. I agree.
Right. But because the one guy, though, you got to give it to the one guy. You got to give the credit to the one guy who rides four-wheelers literally up and down the field doing games, yelling at me.
Okay. I don't know if it's all his fault.
Oh, it's definitely his fault. And I'll give you even more proof why. Before he took over that team was 9-7 under a mediocre, somewhat average head coach in Jim Caldwell. And it still was not dead last in defense. In fact, the defense is so historically bad last year that it outdid a team who by the Lions went 0-16. How did your defense get worse than the team that went 0-16 and you still won?
I will say this: last year, it's tough to look at those numbers because last year it was a historical year for offense because I think a lot of that had to do with the COVID offseason as well as no fans. So I think last year was just a really weird year for defenses because it was no team could play. I mean, there was like 5 teams who I could say realistically played good defense last year on a consistent basis. So I mean, yeah, I just personally, and this is not to say to Lions fans, I love the Lions. Like I cheer for the Lions all the time. And I know a couple people have said like, oh, he doesn't like the Lions now because Matt Patricia isn't there. Like that's not the truth. Actually, the truth is that you guys don't have Matthew Stafford anymore. Like I'm going to be cheering for Stafford with the Rams. I think Stafford, when you guys did win games last year, a lot of it was because of him. So
okay.
I don't necessarily know if Jared Goff and this offense can get it done. And maybe you're right. The defense does improve and that'll be nice to see. But I just don't know if they're going to be an elite unit where they can carry the team either.
But you see, I'm a history fanatic, right? So even when I look at the Patriots didn't always have these top defensive units when they were winning these Super Bowls. What they did was they had a middle of the pack to late 20s in that area defense, and they ran the ball a lot. And the other thing that they did was they never put the pressure all on the quarterback, especially early on. The one year they did it was when they went undefeated all the way to the Super Bowl to take a loss to who? The Giants, a team that shouldn't even beat them, but they did. And it's a reason why. Well, I go through and I look at the Lions and I say, okay, let me try to put this in perspective, right? Here's the Lions team that we are overlooking the intangibles, right? They have just opened everything up pretty much in Michigan, right? Like we're going to have full capacity at Ford Field. The first 4, at least from my record, the first 4 home games are already completely sold the fuck out. Now let's get that out the way. Opening day is against the 49ers. If you have been paying attention to sports in every town that has been slowly letting all the fans back in, they have been getting so drunk and belligerent and so loud and so ridiculous that they're throwing spit, bottles, knives, grenades, and razor blades at the players, at the refs, and they have been in rare form. They are fighting each other. You're going to have a lot of teams traveling from the West Coast coming to the East Coast to play the Lions in their house, and nobody gets drunk like Michiganders. Nobody. I have seen some of the worst drunks in this great state. I'm just putting it out there. Now, the other part I want you to look at is this. You talked about the pass game, but you got to keep in mind that they created a way to fix the pass game. And it's one of the reasons why they did it. they created what they call the split safety. So you got the split safety system where you're going to be able to have an extra safety out there in certain packages. And now you're talking about a guy in Derek Barnes who you're going to be using more as a rush guy, with Collins being more asked to do just simply smaller things. They have literally simplified things in such a way that it makes it easier for them to be improved. I see the Lions.
I don't disagree with the defense. I think the defense will be improved, but I don't know how. Like, they're not going to be the worst defense in the league. I think there's other defenses I look at. I say they'll be worse than them, but the improvement needs to be pretty drastic for them to see major improvement as a team, because
That's
you
fair.
have decline on offense.
That's fair, but I still, there's two other parts I want to point out. One, how in the hell can we be worse than the team that picked first overall? What the hell did the Jacksonville Jaguars do that propelled them ahead? The soonest trouble come along, Urban Meyer's going to dip. And the only time Urban Meyer's ever won is when he was caught up in a cheating scandal. How do you cheat in the NFL, Urban Meyer? I don't think you can. So now he can't go out and just pilfer talent from people by giving their family members jobs and obscure housing and stuff like that. He can't do that now. So for me, we can't be worse than them. I go through and look at the Bengals, right?
I mean, here's the thing with the Jags. They lost games on purpose, because last year they won their first game and then they started playing like Mike Glennon at quarterback. They've improved their team on both sides of the ball. They got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback now. I think they'll be better. I'm not saying they're going to be fantastic.
They'll be better, but they won't be better. They're
also in a way easier division.
Oh, the hell they are. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Our division is hard, but I pretty much think they're in the same boat as us. Because one thing that they did was they did a full dump last year. I don't know what the hell that was about, but they did a full dump. They dumped a lot of talent. However, we talked about Jared Goff, and you said you think he sucks. And I'm like, all right, cool.
This guy, here's my problem, bro. This guy here, and no offense to him, he was saying, how many elite receivers has Tom Brady, Russell Wilson? You don't have Tom Brady. That's my problem.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Tom Brady is only Tom Brady because of the coach that he had.
No, he's Tom Brady. He just won this. He's the greatest player in NFL history.
No, he's Tom Brady because of the coach that he had. And I'll tell you why. He didn't. It's so funny. They had this a watch party. And they had this watch party. It was Kevin Hart and a bunch of celebrities and football players, and Tom Brady came in. And Tom Brady cracked a joke on Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart says to him, and I love it because it was 100% true. Matter of fact, I should just freaking find it, because that's even better, because it was funny as shit. But basically, Kevin Hart says to him, "You know what, Tom? You think you're so great, right? You think I hear all this legendary talk and all that stuff." And he says to him, "How about you? How come you didn't go to Detroit and do it? Go to Detroit and do it, and then we talk about how great you are, huh? Tell me that." And you know why he told him
Tampa Bay.
Right? Stay with me though. He went to Tampa Bay, a team that was practically loaded, and he was a plug and play guy. That's all it was. He's a plug and play guy, and I'm a Bucs fan. He went to the Buccaneers, a plug and play team that had more talent than he ever could have. When's the last
time the Bucs went to the playoffs before that?
It doesn't matter. We had the Bucs. I'm trying to tell you why I don't, because we had just picked up. How long had Bruce Arians been there before he brought in Tom Brady?
Come on, bro. Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time. It's not a discussion.
I don't even want to have a debate on that. But that would be a good debate for another day. My point I'm trying to make to you is this: if Tom Brady was the reason that New England was winning, because people forget.
They were both the reason. I mean, you can't say one.
Okay, I'll take that, but it was more. It was more the head coach than it was him. They were still winning with Matt Castles, Jacoby Brissett. They were winning with garbage time people. I think they would have still won with Cam Newton had COVID not came down and stuff. So I think they would still won with him. But let's be honest. You're talking about Jared Goff. The Lions have won playoff games with less obscure people. The freaking Bears went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. You telling me Rex Grossman's good? Hell, you got Tim Tebow getting to the playoffs.
But those teams were stacked, Luke.
No, okay.
Are you looking at this Lions team and saying that this team is like the 2017 Rams where Goff or that your coach is McVay. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't say that realistically.
But I'm telling you they are, and I'll tell you why. The first thing about it is, if you go back to that team, what did they do to get Goff going in the right direction? What did they do? Do you remember what they did in that season? Because they did something very simple. Very, very simple. And that was
which season?
In 2017 with Goff.
Okay, what they used a lot of play action. They ran the ball. They played good defense. They were a good
exactly.
team.
So they ran the ball. They played good defense, and it was not him that they was asked to. The Dallas Cowboys have 3 Super Bowls with an average quarterback at best in Troy Aikman, and that's because
come on, he's better than average. Come on,
Troy Aikman is better than average.
Yeah, Troy Aikman's a good player. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer because he was on a popular team. If you go and look at Troy Aikman's statistics side by side with most of the other Hall of Famers.
Okay, yeah, stats aren't going to hold up. I mean, you can't compare him to
But that team was loaded. That was the point I'm trying to make. They
were loaded, but this team isn't the 95 Cowboys, bro.
No, but you know what they are? They're a team who did what the Cowboys did. They got rid of one of their top players the same way they got rid of Herschel Walker. They built up an offensive line. We built up an offensive line.
Here's my problem with what you're saying, Luke, is that, okay, you could be right, but that won't happen until 2 or 3 years from now, not this year, because they haven't got those first-round picks yet. You're talking about these first-round picks that they got that they got for Matthew Stafford. They need to get those in their building first.
Nope, I'm talking about the overall philosophy of doing what most teams should do, which is rely on the team to win, not the quarterback. The Lions over the last 12 years with Stafford have been completely a pass-heavy team. And we should not have been. There's no reason for us to have been a strong pass-heavy team. That's where the problem came in. That this team won't rely on Jared Goff like that. That's why they're trying to bring in a Todd Gurley so they can keep running the ball and they can spread the ball out. So the pressure is not on him. They're asking him to not lose games. He is essentially becoming Dak Prescott, as he should. The Cowboys under Dak Prescott him by himself, they're not winning. But when they first came into the league, you had Zeke running the ball. They played defense, and they were winning. And he was looking good early on because he was asked to manage the game, not win the game.
You can only manage a game as a quarterback, though, if the other parts of your team are very, very good. And that's the question I have for you is you would then think, if Goff's going to be a manager, that their pieces around that player are going to be very, very good.
I think that one of the marks of a great coaching staff that I have always recognized is putting people in their right position. Taking Tracy Walker out of the box and putting him back to free safety will help a lot. Jelani Tavai was told to gain weight. Now, I don't know if Matt Patricia was trying to do the biggest gainer while people were playing the biggest loser, but whatever he was doing, it wasn't working. And now he's been asked to lose weight. You add people that essentially have more athletic ability. The cornerbacks, I think we were the highest rated team in the NFL for running man coverage. Devontae Adams literally said that the Lions, for some strange reason, never changed coverage. But on the offensive side of the ball, with us now being able to establish the run and run the game, run the ball, you have a tight end and it goes in levels. So you got to look at it. The run to the tight end, that's 2 levels. And then you brought in Amon-Ra St. Brown to go with a Quintez Cephas to play in the slot. That's basically your Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods level 3. And then you got the guys that's
wait, St. Brown is Cooper Kupp now?
Hell yes. Listen.
Come on.
What
has he done?
So what I did was this. The first thing
I can't say that Brashad Perryman is Robert Woods. Like I just can't say that.
No, not Brashad Perryman. I think
or whoever you guys got. I don't see this.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. You got to look at it. If you look at that year that the Rams went to the Super Bowl, who was their top receiver?
Was it? It was Robert Woods, I believe. There was Brandon Cooks there, and but
the top receiver was the slot guy. And the reason they did it that way was because they used Cooks. Like if you were to come up and try to fill the box, we're going to
use deep threat.
Right. Yeah. And so that's all they're bringing in Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perryman to do. If you decide to come underneath and play it, we're going to dot you up over the top. And that's what they're for. They're not there for anything else. Now, the biggest question mark, obviously, is health. Now, they got to be healthy. They got to stay healthy. We cannot overlooked that enough. And really quick, in case y'all are wondering and you somehow don't understand what BLV stands for, that is for the bottom line view. I am on with the bottom line view. Mitch, it is linked in the description. I love this guy. This man talks more football than the average person. If it was a disease, he would be sick and it's all get out. He knows his stuff. So I don't have a problem having a conversation with him. But if you
this is just opinions at the end of the day. I just thought Luke, I don't appreciate all these people saying I'm a Lions hater. I don't hate the Lions. I want the Lions to be good. We don't have the same opinion here. That's why you wanted me on the show, because I wanted to explain myself.
100%.
And you said, I have a problem with your 2-15. So that's what we're doing.
Right. But I'm just trying to break it down to you in a way that you can like see the same resemblance. So like, for example, Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to understand it. I just think like I can't. Like, you're talking about a rookie receiver right now being a guy that's already have multiple 1,000-yard productive seasons where I've seen it with my own two eyes. A lot of this is projection.
True, but they're the same players. All I had to do is look at college film. I watched both their college films, and they're the same player with the exception that Amon-Ra is a better blocker than Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp as a blocker needs a little bit more refinery. But Amon-Ra is really good at blocking. But they're both good route runners. They both are really savvy in how they set the defender up to get the ball, and they don't mind getting the grunt work of it done. The difference is I think Cooper Kupp is like phenomenal, but I think Amon-Ra can be like Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, I think he can be like Hines Ward good. Like, that's how much I like what I've seen out of him. And I just look at it and I say, you got to create different levels to it. You're asking for them to do something a little bit different. And that's all.
The philosophy you're speaking with makes sense. I think I'm more concerned that they just simply don't have the players right now to fulfill this actual offense. Along with, I don't think they have a Sean McVay mastermind at the helm running this thing.
Well, listen, I can agree with you about them not having a Sean McVay. However, the one thing that you would have to definitely take into account is when you have a coach who's willing to allow his coaches to coach and trust that they're going to coach it, that's huge. And one thing Dan Campbell keeps talking about is how do I aid my team in game situations? I'm going to let my offensive coordinator call plays, but when I don't like what he's doing, I'm going to change it. We got to make adjustments. We got to keep doing it. But the biggest thing is this: the Lions' history shows that whenever we have had a coach who is a player's coach, the Lions have had success. It's happened with Wayne Fontes. It's happened with Jim Schwartz. It's happened with Jim Caldwell. And then I see another guy who coming in as a player's coach. And once we get a player, a coach that's not a player's coach, like a Steve Mariucci, who was supposed to be a player's coach, but he was way past his time, who told people like Joey Harrington, don't audible. I don't care if they blitz, make it work. Then you get to Matt Patricia. We're gonna toss that in the garbage. We're gonna burn that up. That name should probably be banned from this channel, right? It should. But the thing is,
Luke,
is this.
Can I ask what's your record prediction right now?
Brilliant. Glad we got to it. My record prediction for them is 8-9, and I have them. Okay. I have them at best. That's my at worst. At best, I have them at 10
worst.
Wins.
Okay.
Yeah, at best, I have them at 10 wins, 10-7. And it's because of the schedule. It's because of things that I know. Like San Francisco traveling from the West Coast to play Detroit at 1 in Detroit on opening day. And that game has been sold. They're sold out of stand-up seats. Stand-up seats. People.
Hey, Luke, how about this? If the Niners lose to the Lions week 1, I'll come on here and say I was wrong. How about that?
Ooh, can we get a replay on that? Where's the rewind button? So when the
Lions beat the Niners in week 1, I will come on to your channel and everyone can beat me up for it.
Okay. Listen, I am with it. I could take that 100%. Now, if for some reason we take an L, then I would take my humble pie with the clown makeup on your channel to say, all right, it's gonna be a long season, people. Okay. And I was wrong. So yeah, I could take that. I like that. I like that idea. I think the people like that idea. But I just don't see how we get better coaching and get worse. I don't see it. There's no way that can be allowed. But we still got more questions to take. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that thing that could change your mind. Like, that thing that they're missing. What are the Lions missing that you believe that can truly propel them to the next level?
Man,
just that one thing.
This season. I think for them to be next level in my mind, they need to get they need to have Jared Goff play well. And they need to have one or two of their receivers to be way better than I thought. I think those are the two things that I need to see because, like you're saying, I think the defense will be improved. I don't know how good they'll be, but they'll be improved. The run game will be better. The offensive line will be pretty good. And I think it comes down to if they're really going to surprise people, it's going to be because Jared Goff surprises everybody and the receivers surprise people. So I think those are the two areas for this season that I think they could improve on.
Okay. For me, I had to go a different direction because I think that the biggest area for me was the safety play. We got one safety in Tracy Walker. The rest of it is a damn question mark for me, honestly. And what I mean by that is if they wasn't doing the split safety scheme, I'd be even more concerned, right? Because now you're putting that extra safety out there in a way almost similar to what the Bucks did to neutralize Kansas City. And so I look at it and I say, Kenny Vaccaro is still out there. You can add him. And I also know that the Lions are not done with adding players because people ain't cut their free agent. Cut their fat to get their team down. And so I see that and I go, okay, we should be in a position to add some people. Now, there's no guarantee that Perriman makes this team. Tyrell Williams, I think, is more of a lock than Perriman.
Something about that safety thing is I do think Aaron Glenn will improve their coverage unit because, like I said about the Saints, I thought he did a good job of, let's say, protecting the deficiencies of some of his corners. Like, for example, Janoris Jenkins. He put him in position to succeed, as you're suggesting.
Right.
And Janoris Jenkins is very good at press coverage, but he's not very fast. So a lot of times they protect him down the field with the split safeties, and they let him go to work underneath. So I think guys like Jeff Okudah, who you drafted in the first round, should be better. Just overall the corners, I think, are going to be protected more in a way, which will allow them to thrive. I think Quinton Dunbar was not a bad pickup as well. So, yeah, I think the corner play and the secondary should just be more sound, I would say, than last year.
I agree. And I think if you look at it, if you look at how it's set up, one of the things that that a lot of people talked about even before we hired Dan Campbell was, man, why does it look like the defense is always guessing instead of reacting? And then Dan Campbell gets here along with Aaron Glenn, and he's like, I don't need you to be Okudah third overall pick. I need you to be Okudah, Ohio State cornerback. I need that guy. Show up and do your job. I don't need you to worry about where you was taken. And I think they make it more simple. But once I get past Tracy Walker, I really don't like that second safety. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to people like Will Harris that it was really because they had Will Harris at free safety, and he probably should have been an in the box safety. But they didn't. Yeah. They put Tracy Walker there. I don't know why the hell they would do this, but that's the rocket scientist for you, right? Because that's what he does. Hopefully he end up being y'all next coach for the Patriots. That would be.
He brilliant. Is on the Patriots. He's not a coach. I think he's a advisor or something. He's on the staff. It's
something weird. He's signing contracts. I know that. I know that. Just putting it out there. But I can tell you this much. I think if they can improve, like you said, they can always add another receiver. But I love the fact that they're going with this same mantra of nobody believes in you. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be good. It's been pushed all over the room. Dan Campbell said it over and over. Brad Holmes ain't supposed to be here, first year general manager. But everybody forgets that the Lions did something different. For every new person that's here, there is a veteran in behind them training them. John Dorsey is here. And we wouldn't be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs without John Dorsey. We ain't talking about the Browns without John Dorsey. So these things make a difference for me. And I can see where They really do it. Now, I know that you have the Lions finishing last, so I'm going to skip that question because we don't even got to talk about that. You already have them finishing last in the division, but we can definitely talk about what has been the best move or moves thus far by the Lions to you. Like, what has been that one that you like, man, this has been a really good move, or this is the best moves that I have seen so far by the Lions for you?
Well, I think I said this earlier, but I believe it's Sewell in the first round. I think that was a no nonsense pick. They were obviously very excited to pick him there. That was the best move they made this offseason by far.
Okay. You know what? This is the scary part right here. I'm going to give you a plethora move. The first one was, and this is the one that I think is the scariest, bringing in Chris Spielman, bringing in a board of former players to help with the hiring process of our head coach. Mm-hmm. And I think that was huge to get somebody that they can identify and say, you know what, 100%, thank God that we got somebody that I will run and play for. And that was the first one. The second one that really stood out to me was getting coaches who may not be here after year two, because they're going to be pilfered for head coaching jobs. That anytime you can, which fun fact, I don't know if you know this, Mitch, fun fact, I want to say since 2000, since 2000, no head coach who has coached the Lions have went on to become a head coach again in the NFL. Right?
Interesting. I'm not surprised, but that's interesting.
In fact, we don't even get coaches stolen from us. They just leave or get fired. But now
I think Schwartz was probably the closest because he was in conversations there for a bit after the Eagles job.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. And the same thing with Jim Caldwell, which didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I think they have given Caldwell like an executive position or something like that. But we haven't had nobody like resurface in that area. So that's the other one. The last big move, this the best one. The last big move that they made that I said this offseason was brilliant was moving on from Stafford. And I'm a Stafford fan. You hear me? I'm a Stafford fan. But what they did was they allowed themselves an opportunity to not only move on from Stafford, but to gain more draft capital. And they got a quarterback who has a reason to prove himself, which gives them more time to get things going. I don't think they're going into this season with the attitude that they're going to lose. I was listening to WriterWrong, which is a Detroit.
I don't think any team is, to be fair.
True. But I was listening to WriterWrong, and they had Calvin Johnson on there, and they had Rob Sims, who was promoting their brand of what's the word I want to use for it? Sticky Icky, the purple stuff, the trees, the ganja, the cannabis, as you will. Yesterday, I literally should not have asked this chat to give me names for marijuana. There were some names that I had never heard of. But they were promoting that, and they were talking about one of the things that Calvin said is they had a team that he believed could have made it to the Super Bowl, but they blew up the entire line on the offense and the defense. Sue was gone, Fairley was gone, so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. And I look at this team and I said, wow, you actually completed a unit in completing the offensive line. Wow, you actually completed a unit in rebuilding the defensive line. Wow, you went and got linebackers who you can blitz from any part of the field and they can get pressure in Derek Barnes. And so these moves to me signified that we're heading in the right direction and getting to a place where we're supposed to be. So that's how I love those moves. I think that they have shown a level of competitiveness that we usually don't see out of the Lions, and it's something that I think that we can, even if you don't agree with this, you can at least respect this idea right here, which is
yeah, Luke. I think I totally respect the take. I think where we differ is this when the success will come. I think that the success won't come for a year, for another 2 years or so.
See, but why though? That's what I'm confused with. That's what I'm confused. Why? Why does it have to be a year?
I still see holes on the team. I don't see a premier quarterback, which you need to win. I don't see.
But you
yes,
don't.
you do. You
don't.
You do. How many teams in history have been good without a premier quarterback? The last 3 years.
In the last 3 years,
how many?
A lot. It's been a lot. I mean, look, the Steelers.
Unless your defense is absolutely unbelievable. You're really
But the Steelers won 8 games, and who was their quarterback at the end of the year?
The Steelers?
Yeah.
You say?
Yeah.
The Steelers have Big Ben.
No, he was hurt. they was down. They was down.
Oh, 8 games isn't going to make you. You mean last year? Last year they were 12-4.
Was it 12-4 they went?
Yeah, they lost in the playoffs. They were 12-4. The year before that, they had a bum quarterback. I
want to say it was one of those years. I know JT in the building. So
yeah,
JT,
2 years ago, I know what you're saying. 2 years ago, they went 8-8, I think.
It was something like that. I can't remember because, like I said, I'm not a Steelers fan.
They didn't make the playoffs, but they were solid. They had, I think, the best defense or second best defense in the league.
But that's my point. My whole point is I'm not saying that we need to be a Super Bowl contender team. What I don't understand is why do we have to wait 2 years to be a competitive team who
I guess it depends on your definition of competitive because you're talking to a Patriots fan. So competitive to me is playoffs. Competitive to me is winning 10 plus games a year.
See, competitive to me is not just the winning part of it, right? Because one of the things I liked about what the Dolphins didn't win a lot of games, but they were in all those games. They were very competitive with those teams. They pushed teams to the brink, and it was maybe 1 or 2 plays that they missed that cost them the game. But history has shown me long enough that you don't have to be great to win in this league. I mean, Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl ring for crying out loud. Matt Hasselbeck has gotten to a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. You go and
Hasselbeck was good.
Matt Hasselbeck was like, okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like
but he was
Alexander. Yeah, but they didn't have a great defense.
Team was really good. I mean, wasn't that the year Sean Alexander had like 27 touchdowns?
It was the year. Yep, when they had the Super Bowl here in Detroit against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But stay with me.
I'm staying with you here.
We had Rex Grossman who's made it there. We had Trent Dilfer who's got it. We got Brad Johnson who won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but okay, that was also like 15, 20 years ago though.
Fair, but history repeats itself. Let's talk about some of the teams going up going up earlier. Even when you talk about like the Jared Goff, when the Rams got McVay and they had just got from under the foot of Jeff Fisher, who I think would have been a better head coach if he hadn't had his hand in so much. That dude was in like 100 things. He was like in like the competition committee, the Hall of Fame. It was too many things he had his hand in, and it was no way he can give his full attention to coaching. So that's why I think they suffer. However, McVay came right in after that team went 4-12 and went 11-5. The freaking Detroit Lions under Jim Caldwell came off a season where I believe they went 7-9 or 9-7. One of those two. I feel like it's 7-9 though. They won 11 games. Like literally won 11 games with Jim Caldwell. And so I see it all the time where these teams go from worst to first. And I'm just putting it out there that more likely than not, that you don't need these great quarterbacks to do it because it doesn't matter. Most of those teams who win in the playoff, they win because they can run the ball. I watch people like, and I know this is going to start a whole damn storm fire when I say this. I watch people like Lamar Jackson supposedly have this MVP season, and I got yelled at for saying that. He
was the MVP.
But he really wasn't. I mean,
but here's the thing with him though. He's the reason they can run the ball so well because he runs the ball so well.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around,
bro.
Think about it, right? Think about it. They got to the playoffs, and the first thing they did was they shut down Ingram and they shut down Edwards, right? And when they shut them down, he was still running. He still had a good game, and they lost. They took away the real threat, which is the rushing attack, and that's something that we often look at. All that running he didn't amount to nothing. He did that because
he's the most dynamic runner on the team, though. He's the guy that sets everyone else up. Because when everyone's looking at him, he hands it off, and then the guy gets free 5 yards. Well, I think the reason they lost is because they didn't have any guys to get open, and they got ran all over.
Listen, they lost because they could not run the ball with Ingram. Once you shut Ingram and Edwards down, it was done. The same thing happened with the Kansas City Chiefs. They obviously had offensive line issues, right? That's a huge part of it.
Chiefs don't even run the ball.
But that's the reason why they lost. They went against a team who was not afraid to run the ball and who can get after your quarterback.
Here's the thing, Luke, the Bucks are the best run defense in the league. They weren't going to run on the Bucks regardless.
But they were running on the Bucks.
They just couldn't. They had no offensive line. They couldn't protect.
But no, that's not true. They were running on the Bucks. I'm a Bucks fan. I'm telling you, they were running. If you go to that Super Bowl and you go through, just look at the first half. I don't want to care about the whole end of the stat line. Look at the first half. They were running that ball on the Buccaneers. They were running it, and then they just stopped. they just stopped in favor of trying to make their guy Patrick Mahomes the hero. They just stopped. They were running the ball on them. I don't know why the hell they stopped, but they did. Thank God they did. As a Bucs fan, but I'm just telling you that the Lions can fall in that same line. They don't have to have great quarterback play for them to be in that same line. If they establish a run and play defense, they'll be fine. Teams have gotten far with that formula already. It just is what it is. I mean, I watched Peyton Manning basically stink for a betterment of his time with the Broncos, and they still got there because they ran the ball like nuts and played defense. And I think that can still happen with the Lions. I'm only asking the quarterback not to hurt me. Like, to me, Dallas Cowboys should have won a Super Bowl if they had better coaching. They had Jason Garrett, and that's why they never got over the hump and they never did anything. They had the talent. They had the defense. They had the run game. They had the quarterback to manage the game. They had a shitty head coach.
Oh, can't hear anything. What's going on?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, don't tell me we lost Mitch, y'all. No. Mitch, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mitch? Mitch, what is going on? Can y'all hear me in the chat? If y'all can hear me in the chat, let me know. I don't know what happened to Mitch. Maybe we got to resend him something, or I don't know. But can y'all hear me in the chat? If y'all can hear me, then great. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see something. What about now? Y'all hear me? All right, so y'all hear me? I don't know what happened with Mitch. Damn it. Let me get Mitch back. That was good. Oh, he had me in my creative juices. He had my spirit up. My soul's with me. The power level was on 9,000. I was feeling good, y'all. This is how you have good football conversation, though. And that's it. I don't know if Mitch just couldn't hear me, so I'm going to resend him the invite. Okay, here he is. He's back. Let's see this one more time. Mitch, can you hear me?
Hello? I can't hear you. I don't know why.
What the hell? All right. I don't know. Let me see something. Let me figure this out. Mitch cannot hear me. So let me send Mitch a message.
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on 1 second.
Man.
1 second. All right. So I sent him a message. Hopefully he responds and he sees it. And we get it figured out. But yeah, it's one of the things where for me, I could not be more happy to get him on. See, I think we can hear Mitch, but Mitch saying he can't hear me. And I don't know if it might be his internet, if it might be his headset. So I sent him a message letting him know, maybe he was using something different. I don't know. But I can resend him the link and maybe that'll work. So we're trying to get it figured out because that was getting good. It was getting juicy. But yeah, when I heard that he said, no, I didn't mute nobody. When I heard him do his video and he said, we're going to go 2-15, I was like, but we got better. To just imply that we're going to lose more games and we got better, that doesn't sit well with me. I know we've gotten better. But I think it's going to, it's funny that he say that it's going to take us beating the 49ers. And I think that's a fair assessment. A lot of people are going to have to see us beat the 49ers for us to truly take that leap and say, yeah, they might be better than we thought. But I think there's a lot of intangibles that people don't think about, like going from different coasts to play in the different times that they play. Like people having an unknown. They don't got no film on us, but we got all the film we need on them. And so it helps with an advantage. Plus, if they come into it the same attitude that this is the same team under Matt Patricia, and they take the Lions light, because that's what's going on right now. Everybody's taking the Lions light. The Lions can potentially show up on opening day and smash them. And one of the things that I'm hoping don't happen is that they blow out the 49ers, because if they blow out the 49ers, Whoa, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be nuts. So we're going to see if we can get Mitch back. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me send this back to him. See if we can get it figured out. Okay, let me see. All right. He don't know what the technical issue is. But we pretty much got through most of the questions, so I'm just gonna have a little fun afterwards now. All right, there we go. All right, so we probably won't get Mitch back because he's having some technical issues. But first of all, please go and subscribe to him. Yes, you're going to hear takes you're not going to like. Yes, you're going to hear takes you love. Yes, you're going to see and hear things that you may not necessarily agree with. But just try to look at it from a different perspective, okay? Try to look at it a little bit different. So here he goes. He says, appreciate you having me on, guys. Sorry, my headphones couldn't hear you, Luke. I'll come on again if you have me. Check out the channel for NFL takes. 100%. Yes, I'm definitely got to bring you back on because it was just getting juicy. We were getting to some common ground, and I was excited about it. Now, with that part of it being out the way, I gotta talk about a few other things really quick before I jump off of here because I think it needs to be discussed, and it's because of these certain things that I'm about to make sure that not only do I what's the word I want to use for this? I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. I'm about to really have some issues. Okay, so the big news right now is this: the Lions. A guy that a lot of people didn't think was going to come. I said he probably got the best chance to do it, but I still don't know. It's a receiver named Jonathan Adams, who was cut by the Lions in favor of Chad Hansen, which I find intriguing. One of the issues with Adams was that the route running. Some people felt that the route running wasn't sharp. But to me, there's been a lot of talk about, does this leave a hole open for Todd Gurley? I think they still want Todd Gurley. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. He was an undrafted free agent, and it's really hard for you to latch onto a team. I totally get it. It makes sense to me. But there's some other stuff that we have to be honest about and keep it 100. That this team is going to be people that we love and like that's going to get cut. Okay. Yeah, he got cut, Steve-O. They cut him and they brought in a guy named Chad Hansen. I haven't even watched no film on Chad Hansen yet. Literally haven't did it. One Pride 40 says that he couldn't create separation. That could be true. I thought he did a good enough job, but to me, he was a carbon copy of Kenny Galladay, a guy that can get those jump balls, can do things in that regard, and I saw it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to kind of jump on before I get up out of here, right, is I wanted to jump on this thing. It's amazing to me how all of a sudden now the Lions rankings on different websites are moving, right? Like Pro Football Focus obviously had them rated as the worst defensive line and moved them up to like 24. Just a bunch of them. It's a lot of different sites that did it. And it got me into thinking about the defensive line and how the defense is going to play under this new coaching staff. And as I was explaining to Mitch, is look, these teams are 100% going to come in and do the same thing Mitch is doing. They're going to look at the Lions and go, "Up, that's a win," right? That's 100% a win. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's a win. And I think that they better be more aware of what the Lions have did, because if they don't, they're gonna be pissed off and upset. Now, I did talk about this yesterday, which is how Calvin Johnson was upset because he felt like he was treated differently than Stafford. And I'm like, I get it, different coaching staff and everything like that. However, I left out some stuff, and I'm gonna tell you why. One of the things I left out was the fact that one of the big things that is being pushed in the media now is this race related. And I'm like, I'm not one for that kind of rhetoric. I'll tell you this much. I feel like if this guy wanted out so bad, he should have taken a pay cut. He should have did things to make it so he can get the hell on. And if he does that, then great. But he didn't. And so I'm not finna harp on that. He says Chad Hansen is a poor man's Chris Durham. I don't think Chad Hansen makes the team. It's certain people I just think are camp bodies. They got to prove themselves. That's why I said that the best free agents, undrafted free agents to make the team is not on there yet because he ain't been cut yet. There's some people that got to get cut. I'm waiting on that damn Hakeem Butler to get cut. I think if Hakeem Butler gets cut, mark my words, he'll be a Detroit Lion. I'm telling you, if Hakeem Butler gets cut, he'll be a Detroit Lion. Right? Let me see. Ghetto Pat says, I don't understand cutting Jonathan Adams for Chad Hansen. I haven't did my research on Chad Hansen yet, so I can't say. But what the word out of the camp has been is Victor Barton has been balling. And when you're having an issue proving yourself versus a Victor Barton, it gets you cut. You know, it gets you cut. They talk about Surratt having some good moments too in practice. So I don't get it neither just yet because I haven't did the research. So that's what it boils down to. He's Jimbo G said, did you hear what Luke said? The people taking the Lions soft. They are going to take them soft. They're going to walk into it and just say 100% that, look, this is an easy win. That's not going to happen with the Lions. It's not. It's just not. You take them light if you want to, you're going to get hit in the mouth. And by the time that happens, you're in trouble. It really is an issue when you have to look at it and say, okay, how do you gauge this? How do you change this performance? How do you get the best out of the players with this moxie? Like I said, we even with me talking to Mitch and us talking about the record and now we got a friendly bet and everything like that going on. You start to realize that there's some people who really believe this, but I refuse to believe that we're going to be worse than the Jacksonville Jaguars. I refuse to believe that we're going to be worse than the Jets, who apparently now is going to the freaking playoffs. Apparently. So Elk Production says apparently Goff and Hansen were teammates at Cal. Okay, so you get him receivers he's familiar with. If he can perform, then good. But I don't think he makes a team. I just don't. People need to understand that undrafted free agents aren't starters. They weren't drafted for a reason. They weren't drafted for a reason, and the reason may not be the one you like. And the biggest reason is this. A lot of times, especially at the receiver position, most times receivers don't get drafted because it is a flood of receivers, especially since they started allowing in more underclassmen. And there's a lot of positions like that. Cornerback is one of them. Receivers, so it's receiver, cornerback, linebackers are another. And usually you get a ton of running backs. Usually. But yeah, it's when you got you got too many people and you only got so many picks. It is what it is. They still got put to a team, though. You and Luke both be reaching. Trust me, he will have a video up after 10 losses trying to get deep. Dan Campbell, not soft, not about soft. It's talent. I would have it. I'm objective, Don. So you know that. I go by with the information I have. If the information switches, I have to go with the information I have. I'm not one of them people who's going to tell you we're going to the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden I get new information that we're not, and I'm going to give you 1,000 excuses. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you the objective view on what's going on and do it. I just think that this is a team that's going to win way more games because they are going to be slapped on. But to say that we're going to go 2-15 or we're going to be worse or maybe 5 wins at best, when we was only at 5 wins because the coaching staff sucked, because the head coach sucked, the scheme sucked. I just don't see that happening. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll be there. What's going on, Robert Jones? He says, I'm late. What did I miss? A whole lot. You definitely want to go back to the beginning because I had so much fun with Mitch. If you have not subscribed to him, it is linked in my description. Go in there and check it out. He's going to give it to you. Also, he has a Discord. So we're in each other's Discord, and it's great. You can see the conversations going on in Discord. I think you can appreciate it. Is Victor Barton playing wide receiver? I heard he switched or moved more of a receiving running back. I think he's still going to be a receiver. I just think that what it boils down to is he's more than likely going to play a hybrid role. But that's not going to happen if they still pick up Ty Gurley, and I think they still want to pick up Ty Gurley. Ty Gurley went to the damn Ravens and still didn't walk out with a deal. But this is the thing I want to talk about right here. There was an article 2 days ago that was posted by All Lions Football Nation, and it's by John Macron. I hope I said his name right. I apologize. I've had John on before. I'm going to get him back on. But he says, Good Morning Football says that the Detroit Lions must bring back the bad boys. Now, I want y'all to take a second to think about this, because this right here is exactly the kind of talk that I talk, because I do believe that there are certain things that could be trending. Now, many of y'all may be thinking, oh, but the bad boys are the bad boys because they would do whatever it takes to hit them. Exactly. That's exactly why the Lions need to bring back the bad boys. When you're talking about biting off kneecaps, that's a metaphor for do whatever it takes to get that win, right? Push yourself to a limit. No matter what they do, if they want to hold on you, jack them right back up. And one of the things that I like about this statement, with them talking about be more like the bad boys, is basically them saying this. So this is what one of the people said. It says, I think you need to establish more than an identity. I think you need a muse. I think you need an edge, and I think he needs some nasty. If I'm Dan Campbell, I'm having a slideshow, and here's what I'm showing them. This is going to be us, guys. And he says, this is what we're going to be, the bad boys. And the reason I love this take is because not only do I believe that the Lions should be more of a bad boy mentality, I think that they need to have guys on the team who takes that attitude on. You got Ndamukong Suh that says you remove the spice, your team gets bland. He was freaking right. I have been preaching for years that every team needs a bad guy. You just do. Without a bad guy, you can't do anything. And if you, wait a minute. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. Something just caught my eye. Hold on. Let me go back. They said Chad Henson is like a lot like Cooper Kupp. Forget the Cooper Kupp part. If Chad Henson can latch on as a slot receiver, just walk down this road with me, y'all. Brain gets to working in a strange way, and I'm going to get back to my point on bad boys. If Chad Henson can lock down the other receiver spot with Quintez Cephas, then, and let's say for some strange reason, Perryman or Tyrell Williams don't make it, even though I think Tyrell Williams is more of a lock than Perryman, and Amon-Ra is your number 2. Oh, snap. Oh, my. Okay. I'm picking up what they putting down there. If you can find a way, if that's the plan to get it to where you got Amon-Ra as your number 2 receiver, Tyrell Williams as your number 1, and you still got 2 solid slots with a good tight end, you still have all the levels. You just brilliant. Just 100% brilliant. Looney Tunes said, kids going crazy. Me and my sons are always excited and happy. Also, if you wanted your pictures for Father's Day feature in my annual Father's Day video of you and your dad, please send them to me ASAP. I'm going to post that video on Father's Day, so you guys can, check it out. So please get that photo to me. But that's an interesting take. It's a big poster of Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer. I would do it. I would take on everything about the bad boys. You're the underdogs. Nobody believes in you. You're a bunch of dirty players. You're filthy. Everybody thinks you're trifling. I'm whatever they say, I'm posting it on people's lockers. Oh, did you hear what they said in Good Morning Football? No. You didn't hear that, huh, Michael? No. Oh, they said that you can't move nothing. So, these are the things that you got to look at and see that if they take on this, that's going to be a beautiful thing. That's going to be a beautiful thing. So I tried to clue y'all up on something. Okay. Let me see. The talent is still not there, but whatever's. Okay. Let me see. I still have hope Cephas can contribute to this team. I think he will contribute to this team. I just think he will. Let me see. Hanson is 6'2", 210 pounds, and plays wide receiver, not slot. Yeah, but however you do it, he's not winning the number 2 spot. If you're telling me I can see Amon-Ra getting that number 2 receiver spot before I see Hanson doing it, because Amon-Ra was drafted. Hanson wasn't drafted. They're not just going to pull this dude off the streets and go, "Oop, you know what? We're going to throw you there." I don't see that being the case. But if you're telling me that that's what they're going to do, then that's another story. Again, I'm pretty much going to take y'all questions at this point because, like I said, I'm not going to be on too long. But I definitely had to, put it up there and get it done. So make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, and share, Proud Nation, get this love out there. But this is where y'all can post any question in the chat. I'll take it. And then at that point, I'm out of here. Analytics Dan says, Shout out to my man Analytics Dan. He has been over there putting in work, people. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. Y'all need to go hit that bell on him. He has been putting in work. He says, what position do you think improved the most, Luke? To me, the position that I believe improved the most is linebacker. And the only reason I say that is because I respect the hell out of Derek Barnes and how they're going to now move people around to better suit a style that's going to improve them. If we was going into a 4-3 defense, I would have a different attitude, but because we're going to be going into that base 3-4, I feel very comfortable in saying that I like the linebacker improvement. Although I will be missing Jared Davis. Let me see. Hansen just makes catches over the middle in traffic, getting hit. Well, if he can do that, then that sounds good to me. We need somebody with that. At Luke G, I know the receiving core is unproven, but with the receivers being a dime a dozen, why does that mean our core is going to be bad by default to most people? I think what you see is most people like the name, right? Everybody needs a name. Oh, you got to have a name. Like when Lamar Jackson was winning the MVP, oh, it's the MVP and he doing this and this. And then all of a sudden when he loses, he ain't had no receivers. Well, who was he throwing it to before then? Right? Like he didn't rush for 3,000 yards. So what are we talking about? So what you start to see is it boils down to the name. And so they don't see a name on the roster that they like. That's what it boils down to. If the Lions can go out right now and bring back Golden Tate, and people would still say that's not enough to help this team. But to me, Golden Tate is one of those people I would go out and bring back if I was so concerned about the receiving core, which I'm not. But if I was, Golden Tate would be high on my list of bringing back because the yards after the catch, the ability to get open, it creates more and more levels. And that's how I believe that the game should be played, where you can create those levels. 49ers have nothing Detroit has other than a Bosa. And apparently one of their DNs is out for 6 games. I'm trying to think of his damn name. Jordan Willis is his name. It says, I don't know if Hansen makes a team, but he is better than Adams Jr. I can't say that because I'm not watching them in practice, and I don't want to make that assumption. I just don't. Let me make sure. Let me see what else I got. They got a good safety. It says, seriously doubts your life. Makes any sense. What in the world is going on? Boy, people, stop. It's football. Luke, Dorsey goes grab people off the scrap heap that turns into starters. According to Dan, he did that with 3 guys in his first year in Kansas City. Oh, well, we're gonna find out. I think it's not as hard as people think it is to get that receiver. Let me take a few more questions and I gotta get out of here because my kids is getting more excited. Let me see. Hansen is one of those guys that's very familiar with golf, but will enhance golf play. Good show, Luke. Thank you, Delusional Lions fan. I heard we're going to be like those Don Capers defense when Clay Matthews was the main star linebacker. I heard the same thing, similar. But I think the difference is there's a different guy in charge and Aaron Glenn. So that's where you're going to see more of a little bit of different. Chad Henson put up over 100 yards versus the Colts last year going across the middle. Damn. Okay, that's impressive. Hansen has been cut 68 times for a reason. Shaking my head. It's because everybody infatuated with big name players. That's 100% the truth. Amon-Ra is Golden Tate. Yeah, but if you got Amon-Ra and Golden Tate, woo, good luck with that. Good luck stopping that stuff. That's gonna be too much. Lions just trying to get all the guys they want to hang out with after they lose their games. You is so hilarious. It says, watch his film before you judge him. I'm not judging him just yet. I just don't think that he's going to beat out. If you're talking about him coming in and taking a number 2 spot, I would be shocked if he did that. I just think that you gotta create it. Again, it's about creating levels for me. That's it. B-Sharp0918 says, do you think Fells a bigger impact than we think? He is always productive and score touchdowns. I do, because I think he'll be used more. One of the things I didn't understand with us signing Jesse James is why the hell we didn't use him. It just didn't make sense. I predicted that we would get a Jesse James and he would be a pick that the Lions would go after, but they didn't use him. And if you're going to utilize Fells, yeah, you'll be fine. Fells has success here. But if you're not utilizing him, it doesn't matter. And I think he will get utilized. So, yeah, I think he is going to have a bigger impact than we may think. It's funny though with the way the media spins it. If you would have, you would think with Devontae Adams that the Packers have a worse receiving core for the team. Man, listen, I don't even play these games. The way the media spins it, acting like he ain't got no receiver help. Kiss my butt. Okay, that's trash. Okay, A-Rod got help. We're not finna do that. Okay, he's got help. And one of the things I'm not finna do is make up a bunch of excuses. All right. Great show from Jimbo G and Omar. Appreciate it. Golden Tate will help the Lions. I think Golden Tate will help the Lions. I believe that. I'm not even making it up. I really believe that Golden Tate will help the Lions. Did we ever end up signing Fells? Yes, we did. But yeah, I think Golden Tate will help the Lions. You don't think Golden Tate will help the Lions? Like seriously. Just think about the possibilities, right? Think about the possibilities. You can move him to the 2, the slide. You got options. And you really are just looking at it in a way to create it. Jackson, hell no, nope. I can't be mad at you. First of all, you type way too damn fast, dude, to go hell no, nope. And it's broken up. Look how quick he did it. Hell no, nope. They literally both say 8:21 p.m. He did that in a matter of seconds. Like, no, let me get this out here quick. Hell no, nope. I ain't mad at you. All right, people, let me get into my final thought because I do got to run. First of all, let me thank my guest from the Bottom Line View, Mitch. Appreciate him for coming through. Definitely going to get him back on. Could not be more excited to work with him and talk Lions football. Secondly, let me just say this. People, y'all have been 100% like awesome in the chat. Just keep it respectful, people. That's all I'm asking. Keep it respectful. We just talking football. It's never that serious for you to go anywhere outside of the box other than keeping it to football. But it's funny. And yeah, I think we can sign him. I think we can sign him for a pretty good veteran minimum too, because he wants to be somewhere that's fun. He liked Detroit, but we'll see. Tate got the juice and energy to get the team celebrating in the end zone with his flips. He got something. He do. So today's possible quote came up from the internet because I was trying to find out. I really want to know who was the author of this, and I could not find it. I tried like hell. I really did. I tried like hell to find it because I really liked the quote, and I wanted to get a person their credit for it, but I couldn't find it. They say people don't abandon people they love; they abandon people they use. Now this is some thought-provoking stuff. I'm gonna say it again. People don't abandon people they love; they abandon people they use. And it got me to thinking about it. See, I try to keep everything tied into this emotion. I know y'all hear my son back there laughing. I try to tie it into this emotion. When you sit there and you think about your life and the number of people who come in and out of your life, I find it ironic that many of us tend to try to keep those who need to get the hell on. I'm going to say it again. See, the ones who need to get the hell on are being removed for a reason. And the reason that they're being removed is because they're not there because they love you. They are there because they can use you for a reason. You got to know there's a difference, okay? And sometimes what happens is we give ourselves to people who don't deserve us. We give parts of our heart and our soul and our spirit and our life minutes to people who can care less if we breathe tomorrow. Now, this is the part that gets very intriguing because some of us tend to forget this. When we run across these people that somehow feel a need to walk out, we feel a need to try to hold on to them. But why not hold on to you? Why not hold on to what makes you special and why they even got attracted to you in the first place? Why not hold on to what makes you the prize? Why not hold on to what makes you the golden goose? The problem is we don't do it because we got our own fears, and our fears of being alone, our fears of being wrong, our fears of not having it is where it gets ugly at. We have to stop holding on to people who are looking to abandon us when they have used everything about us up. You are giving people the best parts of you for them to use it. It's some of y'all in this chat right now who are dating some women, who are dating some men who need to get the hell on, but you won't do it because you don't mind being used. The problem is the more you get used up, it's the more likely chance that you are no longer valuable to the next person. Nobody's going to see your worth like you. Nobody's going to know your value like you. You literally have people who are investing money in a damn meme because they've deemed it to have a value. You have value. Stop giving energy and time to people that does nothing more than take from you. They don't never deposit anything into you. They don't give you any way or any possible opportunity to be better. They simply just take. And you hold on to them. Let them go. Toss them out in the trash. Release them. Let them be the undrafted free agents that they are. Because you can use them the same way. But the better part of you won't. And that's what makes you special. So to the people who are sitting here receiving this message, understand this. They didn't leave you or abandon you because they loved you. They left you and abandoned you because you had no more use for them. And that's okay. Because you have greater use for somebody else who's going to need you more than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my positive quote for today. That is my show for today. I'll thank my guests as always. Calvin Johnson abandoned us. To my people who are fathers, grandfathers, the women who are fathers, grandfathers, 100% happy Father's Day. I will be dropping my Father's Day video. Get those pictures to me if you want it featured in those videos. I have been getting a lot of photos, and I'm happy to see them. A lot of beautiful families and faces. Share those with me, and I'll share it with the world. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research.